That's Sham's report, moments or hours right after, from his own words.
Yeah, you want to hear something interesting?
Absolutely.
None of them lied. None of them. Welcome to another episode of the Thanalysis show with your one and only Thanasis Antetokounmpo, presented by Gruber Law Offices. Remember, one call, that's all. And I gotta welcome my man, Tony C.
What's up? That's the full, we got the echo, the full stadium intro today. Yeah. That's some energy. I love it. Let's go.
Listen, I am so in shock of what's going on throughout the NBA. You can't even make this up. This cannot be happening.
Like what storyline? There's 17 different ones we could start with in today's world.
Which one? Do we start with Giannis comes out and says like, hey, they would have to kick me out, and Sham says right on the back.
I want to start there.
Says no, he's gonna request a trade, or this thing with Bobby.
Yeah.
Or like bro, it's insane. Or Victor missing the remainder of the season.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker.
Like it's I don't know. But let's get it going.
So
before we start, want to really tell our fans to really follow our socials. We have a giveaway that's going on right now. Follow us on Instagram, and we're giving away something so crazy and sweet. So go check it out.
Look at you. Well played there. Yep. Check us out on Instagram, at Thanalysis Show on Instagram. You can figure out how to win the very sweet prize that we have for all of our dedicated subscribers, followers. And a quick reminder, today's show also presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel in Milwaukee.
Yep.
So, all right, you started it. I want to start there. The last 48 hours for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah. Insane.
So, full disclosure, we're recording this right before the Bucks play the Wizards.
For the NBA in general, not just the Bucks, bro.
Yeah, but I want to start with the Bucks because I think later on in the show I want to talk to you about Wemby, just because you understand the rehabilitation process and having the game taken away from you because of an injury or because So I feel like that'll be a unique perspective that he can't get, and most places. But
yeah,
so. The Bucks are coming back from the All-Star break, and apparently at All-Star weekend, Giannis spoke with the NBA rights holder for television in Greece.
Yeah.
And I wanted to read I'm reading the translation version that we got from Harris Stavro, who covers the team. He covered the Olympics. He covered the Greek national team. And he said, this is what Giannis said on Cosmo TV. If I get a text from my GM, I will share the news with my family, and I'll go do my job. I'm getting paid good money to do this job. I would go anywhere I feel they need me. I'm not a guy who's going to ask for a trade. They'll have to kick me out, or they should kick me out. I want to reread that last line. I'm not a guy who's going to ask for a trade. They should kick me out. So that gets released the very next morning. Sham Charania is on ESPN's Get Up, the morning show on television, and he says Giannis loves the Milwaukee Bucks, but he loves winning more. And if the Bucks don't prove they're interested in winning, he will ask out and look elsewhere. That's Sham's report, moments or hours right after, from his own words.
Yeah. You want to hear something interesting?
Absolutely.
None of them lied. None of them lied, right? Because from one standpoint, he's telling you, like, this guy's a winner. This guy is not going to just stay there and not just win. And you guys won't just not care and not give the city, the fans a chance to celebrate, to achieve achievements going deep into the playoffs or whatever it is. But from the other standpoint, it's telling you, like, bro, I face adversity. I love adversity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I welcome adversity. So they both didn't lie.
That's fair.
None of them lied.
That's fair. That's a good way to look at it. It's an interesting. I also think, though, so many people, the Bucks obviously have not had success in the first round of the playoffs the last 2 years. Injury, even go back to, the 5-year run here. COVID screwed up the championship that year before the bubble. Y'all were popping teams like that. Then you win it the next year, and then Chris gets hurt against the Celtics, and then Giannis goes out the first 2 rounds the next 2 years. Right, like the Bucks have been in contention easily. Even let's just say 6 seasons going back to the Raptors series in 19, whenever that was. I would argue, and I am a Bucks fan, but I would argue the Bucks have made moves to be in contention year after year after year. I don't think someone can go on television and say the Bucks are not putting Giannis in a position to win. Bad things happen, injuries happen, right? But like they got Dame, they made the hard decision, they got Drew. They went and gave up a lot to get Drew.
Well, we gave up the whole bench. The whole bench. And we won the championship. And
it paid off.
Yeah.
And then you get a chance to get an all-time great in Dame. You take the chance, right? You lost Drew, but they take the chance. And then you even look at it was a tough decision. I can't imagine what went through John Horst's mind to do it. But to get underneath that second apron, they had to get rid of Chris Middleton. And they had to trade him to Washington. So they did that. And positioning themselves to make further moves in the offseason and down the road. So, like, as critical as people can be of the Bucks' success or lack thereof the last 3 seasons, they're trying.
Listen, let me say this. And, what I'm going to say is hard, but it's the truth.
Okay.
We might say that we're trying, but, like, the decisions that are getting made, it shows you one thing. We're putting all our chips into one thing. We're not methodically just building. We're making moves, do or die moves.
Gotcha.
We're making moves, do or die. What does that mean, Tony? Do you understand? Do you get what I'm trying to tell you? Like,
I get what you're saying. It's not a slow build, but it's all the chips are in.
All the chips are in, and sometimes, okay, you understand that. I'm not saying, that it's a thing that, you got to sit out here and you got to make moves and strategically, but like we gave up, like we got Jay Crowder. We gave up 6-7 picks to get Jay Crowder. Like that's one of those moves. Mm-hmm. And now it was a great move. You needed Jay Crowder, but like in the long run, hurts you, doesn't hurt you. So it's not basically saying it's just do or die. So when that happens, what does that tell you? Like, and I don't want to be the guy who says it, but like, bro, it's one of those things, and you've built something great. Like we were damn near like a college team. We're damn near like a college team. So it's one of those moves again with Chris.
And that was a tough move to make, and I get it, but
the same. It's a tough move to make with Drew. It's a tough move to make with Chris. It's a tough move to make. And what does that tell you? Like, they're making moves. Don't get me wrong, but I'm trying to tell you, like, if you guys just really like zoom out and just think, it's like, wow, we're not taking our time with it, like, and it shows from the fans, not just the players. It's not just Giannis saying it, it's the fans. You've seen it from the fans, like, so agitated and so worried, like they couldn't even have patience with Bobby. Like, I'm like, bro, like, this man is like having a, like, he's just like this, what I'm saying? He's here, he's going like this, and now, hooping towards the last, and, this happened. But, like, which I think, we'll get into this after, but.
We'll talk about Bobby. I think, real quick, from a fan perspective on Bobby, I could not stand. People were like, you got to trade him. You got to get him off the team. He's hurting the team here. Bro.
This is, to me, it's I don't know what to say. Like, bro, you just don't watch basketball then.
You either don't, and you don't understand. Do you know how expensive 6 men are in the NBA right now? Like, to get one that contributes. Bobby contributed defensively, offensively, and on the glass, like a monster on the glass. He's your backup big. He's on a 4-year, $48 million contract. Do people understand? If the Bucks were to trade his $12 million contract, they would have got back me. Like, that's like, like, I'm sorry, but his contributions before everything happened, I'm telling you, like, people needed to recognize that. Everyone at the trade deadline was like, got to get rid of number 9. There were people on Twitter that follow our show that they were too scared to type his name into Twitter because they know it would get a reaction. So they'd be like, number 9 on the Bucks needs to get traded. Like, say it with your chest. If you're gonna say it, say it.
Obviously, I get to understand why, like, people, sometimes they want to, they think like we need to change and need this, that, but I'm like, you're talking about the wrong person. I'm telling you, like, it's one of those things, some person might be just unlucky and going through some stuff, but he's a hooper, he's a bowler, and now going back to now what just happened, well, I don't know. I want to talk about it more, but I just don't know. I got to talk with him on the phone first before I say anything,
I think this is one of those, this situation where he put out, his agency put out a statement. He released a statement through the Bucks in the initial press release about the mix-up that happened.
Oh.
And it sounded like when Doc Rivers spoke before the Bucks played the Clippers that this happened a while ago and they had been going through a little bit of like the appeals process.
So you can only imagine like they were trying to just help the situation because they knew like it was just honest mistake made probably, and they was just trying to help the situation. But
on the, I guess, bright side, if there's a bright side, he's back before the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll take that.
And I think people need to remember, like, Bobby didn't commit a crime. He didn't do anything that harmed anyone. Let's not vilify this. Like,
it was so crazy. Nobody said something negative about this. Everybody was kind of like, "Yo, this is so unfortunate. How did this happen?" And when it really came out how it happened, everybody's like, "What? Just because of that? Just like, is it 25 games?"
Mm-hmm.
So because again, I get but nowadays everybody, they're trying to, take care of the bodies, or anybody would, take anything.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it wasn't an enhancement. It was like, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't make you like not do nothing. So it was just a weird situation, man.
Yeah, it doesn't enhance. And if anything, if you just like Google what the two things are, I'm not trying to play doctor by any means, but the one that's approved by the league that also starts with a T is actually a higher grade painkiller than the one he took, which is a much lower grade painkiller, which was only banned last spring for whatever reason. I don't know. It just seems, I would say it seems unbelievably harsh, especially compared to some other penalties that the NBA has dished out over the years.
What I would say is that, they know what they're doing. We're not going to interfere with what the league does. They know that, in their opinion, that's what was right in their eyes, and we got to respect it as much as we can.
Leave it at that. But I jokingly sent a text out yesterday that just said, sounds like Bobby's going to be 100% healthy for the playoffs. I think the Bucks have, 30 games left or something after the All-Star break, 31 maybe. So he'll be back before the end of the regular season. And then it sounds like he's able to practice and be at the team facility. And there's some other things.
This is what I was talking about. Like, I don't want to say more if I don't, get on the phone.
That was just from what Doc Rivers said.
Okay.
Breaking down. So we can leave it at that. But that Doc Rivers said there are some other rules that they got to go through. But we can move on from anything else on the Giannis and Shams and comments.
I think, just Giannis saying what he feels. That's how he felt at the moment. That's what he said, And Shams saying like, "Hey, the reality is like, bro, I know you guys. None of them lied. Like I said, none of them lied."
I think that's a very fair. Sometimes I think that's a very fair statement. Like no one lied. I don't think it's the greatest thing to say on television if you're Shams in that moment.
Let me tell you what happens now, and people do not want to accept this. It's not always black and white. What happened to gray? Sure. What happened to the middle? Like, hey, sure, someone in the middle, like, and it's business. It's nothing crazy, but
100% business. Yeah. I think we all need to be more in the gray area. It doesn't have to be one over here. But we can meet in the middle for a lot of things. But moving on from that, I just think it's all super interesting and just the way it's so polarizing, right? Because anytime anyone says anything about Giannis on national TV, Bucks fans freak out, which I kind of respect.
And I get why they freak out because, is anytime we mention, it's never like, oh, the Bucks are looking like contenders. Oh, the Bucks. No, it's always like, wow, this guy's going there. Oh, everybody wants this guy. Everybody wants, like, it's never, it's always the take. It's always the take, I feel like.
I will say, shout out Kendrick Perkins, because for the first time ever, I heard him say something positive about the Bucks on TV a couple weeks ago.
No, he said positive stuff.
Has he? Okay.
Sometimes.
And you know what? He keeps it real. He gives his opinion. That's what he's paid to do. I can respect it. But
that's what he believes. That's my thing with Kendrick Perkins. The only problem I have with him, I would say, is that, I would love for you to kind of deep dive a little bit more. I don't think he's so deep into really learning about some teams in the NBA, right? Not just the Bucks, some teams in the NBA. I just feel like, he just goes with it, right? I don't feel like he doesn't lean as much as he leans for the Celtics, because with the Celtics he leans more and he knows like what's a little bit more what's going on. But that's my opinion. That doesn't mean it's true, but that's my opinion.
And that's almost every person who's on television, right? You're around teams more. You live in certain cities. You have different connections here and there. I will say Kendrick Perkins, when I was fresh out of college, I was covering the Cavaliers, and Kendrick Perkins, he joined their team for one of their playoff runs. And I just went up to him once. I was like, look, when you were in Boston, you had to play against LeBron in the playoffs. How do you game plan for him? And he looked me square in the face. He's like, is your microphone recording? I was like, oh, yeah. He goes, there's not a damn thing you can do about it. You can prepare all day. And I took that quote, wrote a story, and then all of a sudden the next morning it was on the cover of ESPN.com, and I was like, thank you, Kendrick Perkins. That's my guy now.
But I think he's always known that he has this talent for, like, kind of being an analyst, and the way he has his own way of doing stuff. So, yeah. What's next, Tony?
So the All-Star Weekend was pretty recently, and a couple highlights from it that I want to just run through with you. Okay. Tyler Hero, Dame had a chance. Hero, I think, was like the third qualifier from the first round. Okay. And Dame had a chance. He didn't qualify, but Hero goes on to win the three-point shootout. I bring that up to say this. We owe some Wisconsin basketball players an apology.
I know why you're going to say that. You're saying that because he's from Wisconsin as well. We didn't talk about him last time. Hey, the only reason we didn't talk about it last time is because he's plays in the East and we're playing against him. No, I'm joking. No, but shout out to Wisconsin though. So we're to rep the city.
So last time, what we're talking about is last time we did it, we were talking about hoopers from Wisconsin, and just like between Halliburton and Poole and Looney we went through this list, and we posted a clip, and we started getting messages from people. You forgot this person. You forgot this person. We forgot Jalen Johnson from the Atlanta Hawks.
You know what's so crazy? Jalen Johnson would work out with my brother Alex.
So I called Jalen Johnson and Tyrese Halliburton, actually, their high school state championship games when they were in the tournament in Madison. Wow. I was doing play-by-play, so I saw Jalen Johnson in high school.
That's even worse, so you forgot about Jalen Johnson.
And I forgot him. And I also forgot Sam Hauser, who got a nice little...
No, same thing. We just didn't talk about Sam because we get to play him, so we didn't really want to talk about Sam.
That's true. You know what? Yeah. We only talk about Western Conference.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Shout out to Sam. They're both, like, these guys are great.
For sure. I told some Instagram followers we'd fix that misstep on our part. So shout out Jalen Johnson, Sam Hauser. Sorry we forgot you. Also at All-Star Weekend, there was I don't know what reporter was going around, but I loved this angle by them. They were going around, and anytime there was media availability, they were asking players, what's one rule in the NBA you would change? Okay. Which I kind of love the idea for the question. And Cade Cunningham said something which I thought was super interesting. They said, what rule would you change? And he said something to the likes of, when you're doing a replay in a game, the ref who made the call on the floor can't be involved in the video replay. And I was like, that's like, I agree. On the surface level, 100% agree. And I say that because I want your opinion on it, because you've seen coaches be like, replay, and how that goes. If I'm the ref who screwed up on national television, I want, probably even just like if it's even in the back of your mind a little bit, I want my call to stand.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So let me tell you this. I get what you say. I understand why you said that. That's kind of actually, innovating. Like, oh yeah, you can't be on part of the call. Let us decide what happened. Okay, I get that. But from the other side of it, I feel like refs, they want to get it right. They want to be the guy say like, oh, my bad, I got it right. So because that shows a little bit of
Interesting
vulnerability and cooperation, basically saying like, hey, I got you, my fault. So that's a big role. But
that's a good way to look at it too.
You don't get to, you know what I'm saying? You got the bad call, like, stay here. Let's see what happened.
And sometimes I think like it's just someone else checking your work, right? Like you can be a great referee and miss something.
But listen. What's the problem with that though? The problem is everything, as a lot of things in life, it's interpretation. I saw. What did you see here? You got to ask him. If you don't ask him what you saw, he's going to call a foul. The other guy might go see it and might feel like, nah, that's nothing. But if he explains like, hey, from my angle, that when he goes up, he meets him from A to B, or he hooks him, he doesn't move. No, seriously, he hooks him and he doesn't move. So then you see the like, oh, okay, I see why you call that. I would have called it too. Or no, I still don't see it. So you do have to have a certain. They got to say something. They can't be just like, I called it. I got to be staying on the side. But yeah, let's go to the next one. What else?
All right. Also, one of the things that were brought up were changing of the All-Star game format. So a couple quick hitters here. We kind of talked about this on the previous episode. Giannis brought up Team USA versus the world. That's how they should do All-Star weekend. I don't know anyone who would oppose that, right?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, to be honest with you.
I tried to run because I think when you first see that Team USA versus the world, right? All right, Team USA wins. I think that's what people immediately think just because of history. And then I was looking at the matchups, and I think it is so much closer than a lot of people think.
Yep.
And I found a way for the world to win. So when I looked at let me break this down for you.
And Tony's way, but guys, so Tony's ways for Team USA not to show up. That's Tony's
No. So the starting fives are pretty evenly matched. You know, obviously you have Giannis, Luka. On the other side, you're gonna have your ADs, LeBrons, KDs, like the Team USA, right? But then when you look at like players 11 through 30, if you're putting together a full roster, over that next 20 players or so being ranked, you got Sabonis and you have Jamal Murray. Yeah. Those are like your next. So the starting fives is a very even matchup. Would be the greatest basketball game ever played. But once you get into the depth, is where I think Team USA probably has the upper hand. However,
100%.
I got an idea.
What's the idea?
Karl Anthony Towns is Dominican.
Yeah, he plays for us. Yeah, he plays for World. Yeah.
Kyrie Irving was born in Australia.
He's playing. He's
playing for Team World. So if you put those two on Team World, I think there's a real chance. Because then they have the depth. Now they're 9 deep. Now they're about like 9 out of the top.
You know what?
25 players.
Ask me 2 years from now. Let's have this conversation again. 2 years from now.
Well, but that's not fair because you probably know of the 17-year-old in France who's tearing up the EuroLeague, who's the next Wemby.
And not only that, it's who's going to be here, still be here in 2 years from now.
2 years from now, hopefully we're still doing this show. But the NBA is going to look so – can you – I'm struggling to imagine an NBA – like I hope this doesn't happen. But like let's just say LeBron, KD, and Steph retire within the next 2 to 5 years. It's just going to look so weird. LeBron got drafted when I was going into like the 5th grade.
I know, but
it's wild.
That's why we got to appreciate him out of the here. So
100% we have to appreciate players because like, yeah, we do that too much with athletes. We try to focus on the negative or like we want them to lose because they want to like appreciate them while they're here for sure. 2 more quick All-Star things. Dame Lillard wants to go back to East versus West, which I think I'm totally fair.
Too.
Yep.
Yeah.
He also said if they did the new format, which was like the tournament style this year, instead of the Rising Stars playing, he would do an all-snub team.
Wow.
I love that.
Wow. That's
love that.
That's intriguing. It's feisty.
I feel like they would show up.
And television.
Right? Can you imagine if LaMelo Ball like showed up with like a chip on his shoulder?
Yeah, he's going for 60. He's going for 60.
I think Trae Young ended up getting in, but originally he wasn't an all-star.
No.
Like he shows up upset. I love that. Dame, that's a good idea.
Uh-oh.
Did you see, speaking of Dame, last All-Star thing related, did you see he did like that shooting challenge with Mr. Beast?
Yeah.
So I want to ask him, but he'll never say it honestly.
What?
Dame Lillard doesn't miss 4 shots in a row.
No, he missed it. He missed it on purpose. I'll tell you right now. He missed it on purpose.
He missed
it. Sure.
So, for the record, he missed on purpose.
Which is a crazy thing to say. That's how good of a shooter he is.
That's how, because like watching it, I was like, he doesn't miss. Like he doesn't miss that many times in a row. But shout out that kid. I don't know his name. That's my bad. He knocked that down to win the $100,000. So like, good for him.
Yes,
good for him. Good on Dame to give him a couple extra chances, but good for him. Before we move on, a couple other things I want to hit on with you on today's episode. But before we move on, can you remind fans, check out our Instagram, what they can win, follow along, great prize available.
Hey, before we move on to the next subject, for those watching or listening, please go to our socials and see what we have in store for you guys. We're doing a huge big giveaway that's going to be, like I said, something crazy and sweet, and you get a chance to win it in the next week or so. All you got to do is follow Thanalysis Show on Instagram and comment your favorite candy, and you get to win. So let's get it.
That's all you got to do.
All you got to do
is hit follow and comment. Follow and comment. Just one time. That's all you got to do. Winner picked at random. It's going to be awesome.
Let's start doing more giveaways, by the way.
I love. Okay, so this idea. Do we want to tell people on the pod what the prize is?
I mean, they're going to see it on the socials. They'll see it.
Fair.
But I've ever told you that, like, we did like me and my family did a huge giveaway in Greece. I've ever told you this story. We give away a house. Have I told you this story?
What?
Yeah, my house? Might do it again. Yeah.
All right, break it down. I want the details. The rundown out the window. I want this story.
So we give like a small, like a really nice small apartment for students, something like that. We give it away, and with partnership with other people, and it was great, man. It was a great feeling. We had like prizes, and all you had to do like either follow the brothers and get the chance to win it. And it went on for like 4 months. Crazy, bro. You know, so many people was like involved.
That's so wild. People,
yeah. And I'm so happy. I hope I get to do it again in Greece and the other countries too. So hey, you never know.
There are the things we get to do, like in this job or like, you know, the ESPN job, whatever. Like when you're able to make someone's day. Like I love that. Like to give away anything. 'Cause people love free T-shirts. Like if we can do those like giveaways, like
yeah, but like I agree with you. But the other thing that got me, I was so choked up and emotional. It was like, you know, a home and you know, you can do whatever you want with it. You can rent it, you can have it, you can sell, like whatever. I basically gave you somewhere that you can stay and live. And
that's amazing.
For us was so like big.
When was this?
This was years ago.
Years ago?
Years ago, yeah.
That's incredible, man. The things that you and your family do, it's just unbelievable. It's just wonderful. That's the only way to like put it into real work. Because you hear stories about like Habitat for Humanity and things like I get, and I'm not scared to admit, like I've covered Chris Middleton when he was doing the 12 Days of Christmas here in Milwaukee. Yeah. I remember covering one of their when he did a coat giveaway, and it was just at a Milwaukee public school, right? I grew up in Milwaukee public schools. Those are the schools I went to. We were on the south side. Like that's where I grew up in Milwaukee. And like to see him, to know the situations those people are in, and to see him or any athlete go in and like just make a difference to people, whether it's a coat or hat or a bike or a house, like it's awesome. I love it so much. So yeah, check out our Instagram. And now we're just going to try to give away stuff all the time. Like that's now the goal. Let's do it. Go. Much less important, but still wanted to talk to you about. Have you seen Pat Bebb's podcast, which they do great work, obviously? They've been having a conversation, and it's got all the way to ESPN talking about it, a couple other places. The best third option in the NBA.
Okay.
Who comes to mind right off the bat for you?
I mean, we could go from give me the teams, and I'll tell you. Give me the teams.
All right. Well, he just did like his top 5 players. So
yeah, give me 5 teams, and I'll tell you which one I think.
All right. The Lakers.
The Lakers. Reeves. Austin Reeves.
The Bucks.
Kuz, Brook Kuz.
It's like a 1A 1B type deal there. That's a
Yeah,
tough one.
bro. What?
The Clippers.
Normal
Yeah.
Norman Powell for sure.
Uh,
He sometimes he's too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he's, you know what I'm saying, he's really good.
he had a really good first
Yeah.
half of the season.
Yeah.
And then the Knicks.
I think Jalen. Wow, it's between. That's tough
The
because
Knicks is hard.
because it's Jay Hart, then it's McCall, then it's OG, right? And so those three, you can pick whichever one of those three because I'm assuming it's Jalen Brunson and Cat, but
Or 1 and 2, yeah. He went with Bridges, which I think is fair because Josh Hart's a great player to have on your. I think he's more of a
Pat Bev went
rebounder
with Bridges.
defender.
Okay, so Pat Bev went with Bridges then.
Yep. Which, if he would have went Hart, I wouldn't have argued him the other way either. And then the last one's the Celtics, which I think this one is interesting because I wanted to ask you
what Celtics. I mean, to me, you ask me, I'm biased. Obviously, I'm thinking it's for sure Drew, but there's an argument you could just actually put Porzingis because
Pat Bev had Porzingis.
Okay.
You could go either way.
Yeah, you could go either way. But
the crazy part to me is when you look at this list and like the Celtics, obviously, anytime you can argue who your third option is, your team is probably really, really good.
Exactly.
And so even before the trade, but now even after the trade, I look at the Bucks and like Brook Lopez as your fourth option. I'm okay with that roster.
Like, and the only reason I said Kuz and Brook and stuff like that is because, like, you know, I've known Brook for a minute, and Kuz just played a couple of games now, and I'm so excited to see him. So I didn't want to just throw his name out there, but you just because he won't make a mistake.
We could flip it.
Yeah.
Brook Lopez is your third. Kuz is your fourth. I'm okay with that roster too.
And vice versa, like just having this great guys, like to a great group.
Yeah, I think that's pretty great. Like I like the idea of because sometimes I think teams, and you see this across all sports, right? Like you can have a superstar, out of this world superstar, but sometimes I think teams need to balance that out a little bit with just really good depth. And obviously, those 5 teams we just talked about have really good depth, 1 through 4, and then complementary pieces off the bench. So that was just interesting to me, and I did see that the high. Do you know who the highest scoring trio in the NBA is right now at 72 points a game?
Say it again.
The highest scoring trio based on averages in the NBA right now. Their combined points per game average is 72. Almost 73.
Don't tell me wait. Don't tell me wait.
I got the top 5 here.
One of them has to be the Celtics in top 5.
The Celtics are 5th. So that's Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, but they're not 70 though.
No, they're close, but they're not 70.
Because for you to be 70, you have 2 guys damn near averaging 50, 60. Is it the Bucks?
At number 1?
Yes.
It is.
Because Giannis and Dame are already averaging this much, almost like. Is the Bucks?
I think they can. So Giannis is at 31.8, Dame's at 25.8, and then Kuzma's at 15.3. So they combine for 72.9 points per game.
Wow.
That's pretty wild. Rounding out the top 5 is the Suns, 70.9. With Beal, Booker, and KD. The Lakers with Luka, LeBron, and Reeves. And then, do you want to guess the 4th team?
Don't say it. So the Lakers.
This one surprised me.
If you're surprised, you got to be like.
It's not the Knicks. It's essentially why I was surprised because I would have bet any money.
Is it East or West?
West.
Can't be Phoenix.
No, Phoenix number 2.
Not Phoenix number 2. No, you just said Phoenix. It can't be Phoenix.
Yeah, so it's Bucks, Phoenix, Lakers, then there's 4th, and then the Celtics are 5th. It's a Western Conference team at 4.
Can't be Dallas. No way.
No.
Okay, who is it?
Denver.
Denver. Oh, I thought about it, but I was like, is it?
Jokic is at 29.8. Murray's at 21. I didn't realize Porter Jr. is scoring 19 points a game right now. He's having a good season. Yeah.
Wow.
They're not quiet, but they're good. They're still really, really
Huh?
good. The last thing on today's show I wanted to hit on with you is we talked about it earlier on in the show. Victor Wembanyama, post All-Star game, ruled out for the rest of the season. They're listing it as a shoulder injury. It's being called blood clots or deep vein thrombosis. And I think from the human level, it's terrible. He's a young kid, just getting his feet wet in the
Bro,
NBA. But you've had the game taken away from you, so I wanted to
bro,
just get your opinion and thoughts up
no,
for
no,
him.
no. I obviously, turning your Achilles and just, just like taking so long toll on you is crazy. But this, you can't even fly, Tony. You can't. Like, you got to be on blood thinners. If it's what they say it is, and blood clot, and like you literally cannot do nothing. So it's just hopefully it doesn't have such a big of a impact later on.
For sure.
Let this just be this year, and just he comes next year or the year after, like, and he's okay. So a lot of guys have. Well, even Milisa Teletovic had an issue with blood clots.
Mm-hmm. He retired.
Yeah, he retired, and Chris Wash had kind of some other guys as well. Like, it's not something to play with. So I'm just, man, I just said this week in the NBA is
It's a weird
crazy.
week, especially someone just like who's so like when you look at Wemby, just like from what he does, like he's setting himself up to be obviously a major worldwide superstar. Like, but even just like when he was in New York and he was playing chess in the park, he was at the All Star game and he was reading a book and Jokic was making fun of him. Like, Wemby is not only otherworldly talented, but he's so likable. Like everything from endorsements to everything is going to be at the forefront for this kid.
I agree. What's going to be what's going to be interesting is to see, like, his demeanor in general. Like, like, is it the typical French guy? Is it like, what I'm saying? And I don't nothing against, like, French guys. I have a lot of friends who are like French, but they don't act French. They don't act French. No bias. Yeah, but like, I think it's gonna be it's something, I don't know how to say it, but we was talking about like aura, stuff like that. It's gonna be nice to see him in the next couple of years. That's why I just said, like, it is what it is with the season.
Just
make sure he's okay. Make sure his family knows he's okay, and then hopefully it doesn't linger into the next seasons and everything, and he can be able to play and everything. So,
100%. As we get out of here today, remind everyone: Gruber Law, Potawatomi, Candy
wow.
Funhouse.
Want to give a huge thank you to our sponsors, Potawatomi Casinos and Hotels. Whenever you're in Milwaukee, please stay there. They got everything you need: entertainment, luxury service, everything you need. I want to thank Candy Funhouse for the best candy, the best way to cure everything for you. That's what I do. Whenever I feel sad, I just go to Candy Funhouse website and get some candy shipped to my place. And last but not least, I want to thank Gruber Law Offices. And Tony, one call.
That's all.
Thank you, guys. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel. You guys have been amazing. Please leave some reviews on Spotify, Apple, whatever you listen to podcasts from, or whatever you watch it from. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys so much. Thanalysis out.